Have you ever looked at your bank account and wondered where all your money went? You get paid, you feel great for a moment, and a few weeks later, poof, it's gone. Rent, food, bills, that one impulse buy you swore was a reward, and suddenly you're waiting for the next paycheck again. Sound familiar? Don't worry, no, you're not alone. In fact, that's most people. But what if I told you the problem isn't you? It's the system you were never taught to understand. Money has rules, real invisible rules that quietly decide who builds wealth and who stays stuck chasing it. And the funny part, those rules are actually simple. They just never taught them in school. So today, let's talk about that system, the real one. Let's break down how people like Warren Buffett and Elon Musk used it to build unimaginable wealth, and how you, no matter your job, your country, or your starting point, can make the same system work for you. Not to become a billionaire, but to become free. Sound good? Let's dive in. Here's something most people never realize. Money isn't just paper. It's energy. It flows. It moves. And it always finds the people who understand how it works. You earn it by providing value, you save it by resisting distractions, and you grow it by letting it work for you. Simple, right? But here's where most people get stuck. They stop at earning. They trade their time for money, but never make their money work for them. So the moment they stop working, the income stops too. That's why rich people think differently. They don't just earn money. They build systems where money earns more money. It's like planting trees instead of picking fruit. If you only ever pick, you'll always need to go back to work. But if you plant, eventually your trees bear fruit while you sleep. And that's the foundation of wealth. Earning, saving, investing, growing. 4 steps. That's the whole system. Sounds boring, I know, but boring makes people rich. And if you don't believe that, let's talk about a man who built his empire on boring his name, Warren Buffett. Now, I know you've heard of him. He's the guy from Omaha who's worth more than $100 billion. But what makes him fascinating is how he built that wealth. Not through luck, not through crypto, not through gambling or guessing. Buffett built it by understanding time and discipline. He bought his first stock when he was 11. Just 11. It went down right after he bought it. Most people would panic and sell. He didn't. He waited. Eventually it went up. And that little moment taught him something priceless. Patience pays. That same patience became his superpower. While others chase hype and quick money, Buffett does the opposite. He invests in businesses he understands, and he holds them for decades. He calls it value investing. He looks for companies that are undervalued, meaning the world hasn't noticed how good they really are yet. Then he buys in quietly, waits for the world to catch up, and when it does, boom. He doesn't trade every week. He doesn't time the market. He lets time do the heavy lifting. One of his favorite lines is, "The stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient." Think about that for a second. Every time someone panics and sells, someone patient gets richer. So when people ask, how did Warren Buffett become a billionaire? The answer isn't complicated. He started early, stayed consistent, avoided big mistakes, and let compounding do its magic. And the best part? You don't need millions to copy that formula. Buffett says, if you can't control your emotions, you can't control your money. So your first step isn't financial, it's emotional. You have to train yourself to delay gratification, to save, to invest, to hold. That's the mindset that made Buffett rich. He's living proof that discipline beats excitement. Now let's switch gears, because Elon Musk is a completely different story, where Buffett plays defense. Musk plays offense. Buffett protects and grows wealth. Musk creates it from scratch. 2 sides of the same system. Musk was born in South Africa in 1971. He was that quiet kid who spent hours on computers and science fiction. He sold his first video game when he was 12. After moving to the US, he started a company called Zip2. It helped newspapers go online, back when that was still a crazy idea. He sold it for $300 million, but instead of buying yachts or islands, he used that money to start another company, X.com. That became PayPal. And when PayPal sold, he made a fortune again. Now, most people would have retired. He didn't. He took nearly all his PayPal money, about $180 million, and invested it into 3 companies that everyone said would fail: Tesla, SpaceX, SolarCity. All 3 were losing money. All 3 nearly went bankrupt. And so did he. There was a point when Musk had to borrow money just to pay rent, but he kept going. He said, When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor. That's risk tolerance, that's vision, and that's another way the money system rewards people. It multiplies belief and courage. See, Buffett compounds money through patience. Musk compounds money through innovation. Buffett buys undervalued companies. Musk builds valuable companies. Buffett trusts time. Musk bends time. But both of them use the same rules: save, reinvest, build, repeat. They make money work for them, not the other way around. Now let's pause here, because I want you to think about your own situation. Which one are you more like? Are you the Buffett type, steady, disciplined, patient, or are you more like Musk, bold, creative, visionary? Maybe a mix of both, and that's the beauty of it. There isn't just one way to win the money game. There's only your way. But all winning ways share the same foundation. You must control what you earn and give your money a job. So let's get practical. Imagine you earn a modest income. You start saving a small part every month, maybe 10%. It doesn't sound like much, but over time, those small amounts become powerful. Let's say you save $100 a month and invest it in something that grows 8% a year. After 20 years, that becomes about $58,000. Not bad for small, consistent effort. Now imagine you increase that to $300 a month. In 20 years, that's around $175,000. You didn't win a lottery. You just built a system. That's compounding. And it works not just with money, but with habits, skills, and knowledge. Buffett reads 500 pages a day. Musk learns entire industries by himself. Knowledge compounds too. The more you learn, the better your decisions become. And the better your decisions, the faster your money grows. So when you invest time in learning, you're compounding future returns. Let me ask you this: how much time do you spend scrolling every day? What if just 30 minutes of that went into learning about business, markets, or investing? You'd know more in a year than most people learn in their lifetime. That's how the system rewards curiosity. But here's something important. You don't need to be obsessed with money to win. You just need to respect it. You don't need to love finance. You need to understand how it behaves. Money is like fire. If you control it, it cooks your food. If you ignore it, it burns your house down. So control it. Make saving automatic. When you get paid, move some of it out immediately, before you even see it. Pay yourself first, then live on what's left. That's not being stingy, that's being strategic. And when you invest, don't chase excitement, chase results. If you don't understand something, skip it. That's Buffett's rule. If it doesn't align with your mission, skip it. That's Musk's rule. Both are forms of discipline, and that's what separates people who hope to get rich from people who become rich. Now, let's talk about mindset. There are really only two kinds of people in this world: consumers and investors. Consumers work for money. Investors make money work for them. Every time you spend, you're choosing a side. When you buy things you don't need, you're building someone else's dream. When you save and invest, you're building your own. So next time you get paid, ask yourself one question: how much of this will work for me, and how much will I give away forever? It's a small question, but it changes everything. Because here's the truth: every dollar is a soldier. You can send it out to fight for you, or you can waste it on something that fades tomorrow. If you deploy your money wisely, it brings back more soldiers. And those soldiers start bringing back more soldiers. That's compounding. That's the money system. Let me tell you something funny about wealthy people. They don't obsess over money every day. They obsess over systems. They automate things. They simplify. They focus on what actually moves the needle. You can do the same thing, even with a small income. Start by tracking where your money goes. You'll be shocked how much slips away on small invisible leaks. Plug those leaks, redirect that money into savings, then let that savings grow through investing. You're not trying to be rich overnight. You're building a quiet empire over time. And I know what some of you are thinking right now. This sounds good, but I barely earn enough to save. Trust me, I get it. But here's the secret. The habit matters more than the amount. If you can't save $10 out of $100, you won't save $1,000 out of $100, $10,000, because saving isn't about money, it's about control. If you can master the small, you'll eventually master the large. That's the same principle Buffett used. That's the same principle Musk used. You start small, you stay consistent, and one day you look back and realize you've built something powerful. Now let's talk about risk. People often say, "Isn't investing risky?" Sure. But you know what's riskier? Not investing at all. Because when you don't invest, your money loses value every year to inflation. You might feel safe keeping it in cash, but slowly, quietly, you're getting poorer. So the real risk is standing still. Buffett once said, risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. So educate yourself. Start small. Learn by doing. Invest in what you understand. Don't follow hype. And when the market goes down, don't panic. That's your opportunity, not your enemy. Now, here's something people rarely talk about: the emotional side of money. Money is deeply psychological. It's tied to fear, ego, and self-worth. We spend to feel good. We buy to feel successful. We chase what others have. But here's the truth: wealth isn't about looking rich. It's about being free. The car, the phone, the clothes, none of it matters if you're stressed every month. Freedom is the flex. The ability to wake up and choose your day. That's wealth. And that's exactly what this system gives you. Control of your time. Because once your money starts working for you, you stop trading time for survival. You trade it for meaning. You trade it for your dreams. So here's your challenge. The next time you get paid, don't just think, how do I spend this? Think, how do I grow this? Start small. Save something. Invest something. And every month, do it again. That's it. That's how wealth begins. Not with luck, not with magic, but with simple, consistent action. Because money doesn't care where you start. It only cares how you treat it. Buffett started with $100. Musk started with curiosity. And you can start today, right where you are. Let's wrap this up. Warren Buffett mastered patience. Elon Musk mastered purpose. Both mastered money. You can combine their lessons. Be patient like Buffett. Be bold like Musk. Save, invest, reinvest, repeat. Build something that grows while you sleep. That's not just about getting rich. That's about getting free. Because when money works for you, you gain the most valuable thing in life, time. And once you have time, you can live how you want, work when you choose, and give without fear. That's real wealth. So start today. Open that savings account. Automate that transfer. Read something about investing. Learn how compounding works. Be patient. You're not behind. You're just getting started. The sooner you begin, the sooner freedom begins. That's the secret of Warren Buffett. That's the mindset of Elon Musk. And that can be your story too. Now let's talk about something we rarely do: the why behind all this. Why even chase financial freedom? Why care about compounding, saving, or investing at all? It's not just to have more numbers on a screen. It's about the life that money can unlock. Think about it. When you don't have to stress about bills, you think more clearly. You make decisions from peace, not pressure. You have time for your kids. You can help your parents. You can take care of your health. That's the real reason we build wealth. Not greed, but freedom. Money doesn't make you better. It just amplifies who you already are. If you're generous now, you'll give more later. If you're creative now, you'll create more later. So when you grow wealth, you're not just changing your life. You're giving your future self options. You're giving your family a safety net. You're giving yourself time, the only resource you can never earn back. Here's a little perspective check. Imagine you're 65. You wake up one morning and you realize you never invested, never saved. You worked your whole life, but you still have to keep working. Now imagine the other version of you, the one who started small in their 20s, saved a bit, invested every month, and let time do its job. That person wakes up at 6:50 with choices. They can work because they want to, not because they have to. That's the difference between surviving and living. And you know what's wild? The difference between those two people isn't luck. It's habits. It's small, boring actions repeated over decades. Because success doesn't happen overnight. It happens every night when you go to sleep and your money keeps working. Let's bring this closer to real life. Look around your community. There's always that one family that seems to have things figured out. They're not flashy. They don't post luxury photos online, but they're stable. They're calm. They're free. You know what they usually have in common? They live below their means. And they invest the difference. They don't try to impress strangers. They focus on impressing their future selves. That's what I call quiet success. You don't see it, but you can feel it. It's the peace of knowing you don't owe anyone anything. That's a form of wealth you can't measure with a calculator. And let's be real, it's not easy. You'll be tempted every day. New phone releases, friends showing off trips, that constant voice saying, you deserve it. And yes, you do deserve nice things. But you also deserve freedom. You deserve security. You deserve options. So the next time you feel that urge to spend, pause and ask yourself, will this bring me happiness now or peace later? Sometimes the answer is yes, buy it. sometimes it's weight. The magic is in being aware. Now, here's something people don't expect. You can actually enjoy the process of saving and investing. It's not punishment, it's empowerment. When you start seeing your money grow, when you check your account and realize that it's increasing without you doing more work, it feels amazing. You start trusting yourself. You start realizing you're capable of controlling your future. And that confidence spills into every other area of your life. You walk differently, you think differently, you make choices differently, because deep down, you know you're building something real. Now let's get into one more big lesson from Buffett and Musk, and it's one people overlook. They both surround themselves with long-term thinkers. Buffett's closest partner is Charlie Munger, another brilliant, disciplined investor. They've worked together for decades, challenging and sharpening each other. Musk surrounds himself with engineers, builders, scientists, people who don't say it's impossible, people who say, how do we make it possible? That's another secret of the money system. Your environment is your multiplier. If you hang around people who only talk about spending, you'll spend more. If you hang around people who talk about ideas, growth, and creation, you'll start thinking that way too. Money grows fastest in the right environment. So protect your mindset, protect your circle. You don't need to cut everyone off. Just add people who lift your standards. You'll notice the difference immediately. Let's talk about giving. This might sound weird, but one of the best ways to build a healthy relationship with money is to give some away. Warren Buffett plans to donate almost all of his fortune. Elon Musk invests billions into solving global challenges. Now, you don't need billions to make an impact. Even a small act, buying a meal for someone, helping a student, supporting a local cause, it reminds you that money is meant to flow. When you hoard it out of fear, it controls you. When you use it with purpose, it frees you. Giving creates gratitude, and gratitude creates abundance. Because when you appreciate what you have, you stop chasing endlessly, and ironically, that's when more starts coming your way. Another thing people misunderstand, you don't need to have it all figured out. Start messy, start imperfect. Buffett didn't have a master plan at 11. Musk didn't know PayPal would lead to SpaceX. They started where they were, with what they had, and adjusted along the way. You can do the same. You might make mistakes. That's fine. Every mistake is tuition for the University of Wealth. Lose a bit, learn why. Try again, smarter. That's how progress looks. Now, let's do a quick mindset exercise. Close your eyes for a second and imagine your life 5 years from now. Your bills are paid automatically. You have savings, investments, and peace of mind. Your phone buzzes. It's a dividend notification, money you didn't have to work for. You smile because now you get it. You're in control. That's not a fantasy. That's a goal you can build brick by brick. Every small choice you make today is one brick in that foundation. You don't need to change your whole life overnight. You just need to start stacking bricks. One habit, one decision, 1 month at a time. Before you know it, you'll look back and realize you built a fortress of freedom. Let's end on this thought. Money doesn't change who you are. It just gives you more power to be who you are. If you're kind, you'll have the power to help more. If you're creative, you'll have the resources to create more. Money is a mirror. It reflects your mindset. So build wealth not from greed, but from growth. Not to prove people wrong, but to prove to yourself that you can rise above your limits. You're not in a race. You're in a marathon with your future self. The world rewards those who think long term. Buffett did, Musk did, and now it's your turn. Start with what you have. Learn as you go. Stay consistent, because in the end, it's not about beating the system. It's about understanding it. Once you do, you'll never see money the same way again. And when that day comes, you won't just be earning money, you'll be earning freedom. And that's the wealth that truly lasts. That's about getting free. Because when money works for you, you gain the most valuable thing in life, time. And once you have time, you can live how you want, work when you choose, and give without fear. That's real wealth. So start today. Open that savings account. Automate that transfer. Read something about investing. Learn how compounding works. Be patient. You're not behind. You're just getting started. The sooner you begin, the sooner freedom begins. That's the secret of Warren Buffett. That's the mindset of Elon Musk. And that can be your story too.